Good morning, future officers. Welcome back once again to Toppers Academy Morung Express newspaper analysis for 1st November 2025. A new month begins, and with it comes a new opportunity to refocus, reset your goals, and continue your journey with even greater determinations. Remember, every new beginning brings a chance to learn, improve, and move closer to your dream. In today's session, we will be analyzing the Morung Express newspaper from the examination perspective. Will identify the most relevant national, regional, and international news items and issues that hold importance for your NPSC and NSSP exams. We will also discuss how to read the newspaper strategically, focusing on the topics that connect with your syllabus, building strong conceptual links, and learning how to convert current affairs into concise exam ready notes. So, let's begin our 1st November 2025 analysis with a fresh energy and enthusiasm and make this new month a productive and rewarding step forward in your civil services journey. The first article for the day is Culture of Silence. Culture of Silence still haunts the Naka woman. Chairperson of the Nagaland State Commission for Women, W. Nyanye Konyak has raised concern over the culture of silence surrounding women's safety and the persistent impact of patriarchal attitudes in Naka society. Sexual Konyak was speaking at a one-day state level workshop on the sexual harassment of women at workplaces, prevention, prohibition, and redressal act of 2013. So this is going to be a very important topic for your exam. Um, this you can even study for GS1, sorry, GS2, okay? GS2 DBPC Borna say today. They can even ask questions for up to 10 to 20 marks on this very particular question also. So this sexual harassment of women at workplaces, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013 is also sometimes called the POSH Act. POSH Act. So ito kaya all of short process out there. Let's see what is this POSH Act. The POSH Act is a legislation enacted by the government of India in 2013 to address the issues of sexual harassment faced by women in the workplaces. The act aims to create a safe and conducive work environment for women and provide protection against sexual harassment. So this POSH Act, they define the sexual harassment to include kiki as unwelcome acts such as physical contact and sexual advances, a demand or request for sexual favors, making sexually colored remarks, showing pornography, and any other unwelcome physical, verbal, or non-verbal conduct of a sexual nature. Background: the Supreme Court, in a landmark judgment in the Vishaka and others versus the state of Rajasthan 1997 case, gave the Vishaka guidelines. And on the basis of these guidelines formed the basis of the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplaces 2013. So this is also sometimes called the POSH Act, okay? POSH Act. So itu important ase apne ekbar prepare karibi for your 10 to 20 marks GS2 karne. Alright, it's very important. The next topic for the day is Krukullo Kutso wins Futsuro Ward 11 by election seat. So what is important for exam here is ite by election to kuti thakise kulido Ward 11 Zifade Futsuro Town Council de thakise. And then I've been mentioning this even before also that this time urban local bodies election day, ULB election day, maiki na women candidate kiman ton nomination thakise and how many contested, how many won, and how many reserved seats. Okay, percentage to chana khota as will be the number of seats be important as the number of seats. So you take the prepare kurbi. And secondly, I'll write it here. Okay, ULP Act and its amendments. Nagaland lade, Nagaland laws. So make a note on that. Next, you also make a note on how many seats were reserved for women. Reserved for women. How many nominations were filed? How many contested for the elections? And how many won? So that will be very important for your exam. And also study how many municipal councils. Itu komti ase municipal council to nam yat rakhibi. If I'm not wrong, then tinda thakise to nam yat rakhibi. How many municipal councils and how many town councils the elections were held. Okay, so itu pisarvi. That will be important for your exam. So the State Election Commission Nagaland has declared the result of the by-election. The State Election Commissioner to kun ase gulido our former DGP D John Longcomer, IBS retired, with an independent Krukolo Kotsodo independent candidate tagise. Alright, so that will be important for exam. And make a good note on the points that I've mentioned. School safety is now a national mandate. How Nagaland is leading the way. The Nagaland Disaster Management Authority 2016 guidelines and the Disaster Management Act make compliance a legal and moral imperative. Says how the safety of children in schools is no longer just an aspiration, it is a national mandate. In the light of the increasing number of school-related disasters in India, from fires to earthquakes and floods, the Government of India and the National Disaster Management Authority have reaffirmed that every school in the country must comply with the National School Safety Guidelines. So, itu National School Safety Guidelines to ki ase, itu be ek par saile pichi palo. These guidelines framed under the Disaster Management Authority Disaster Management Act 2005. So sorry. Disaster Management Act of 2005 though, you should make a good note. Okay, good note on this one for about 10 marks, including its provision, challenges, shortcomings, and way forward. And you can even expect for an essay also. Essay, something related to disaster management. Make it a statutory requirement for all school, government, and private to develop comprehensive disaster management plans, conduct regular drills, and train teachers and students in emergency preparedness. The Act, under Section 39 Clause A, mandates the State Department take proactive measures for disaster prevention, mitigation, preparedness, and capacity building in accordance with the national framework. Recent directive from the Department of School Education and Literacy and the NDMA have underlined the seriousness of implementation. States and union territories have been instructed to, first of all, prepare a state and disaster action plans with clear timeline for enforcing the school safety guidelines, appoint dedicated nodal officer for school safety at both the state and district level to oversee and report compliance, ensure oversight by district disaster management authorities under Section 25 of the DM Act. Submit quarterly compliance report to the NTMA and TOSEL for national review. These tactics follow findings from NTMS pilot firefighting drill in school across 6 states. Nagaland proactive model turning mandate into movement. It will be very important as day. It will be pala se the point as. Amidst this national mandate, Nagaland has emerged as a leader in putting the NTMS school safety guidelines into action. In 2023, the Nagaland State Disaster Management Authority, in collaboration with the Department of School Education and NACA-ED, launched the Nagaland Disaster Management School Safety Policy. So yati be ekta note ponaile awanan pishi helpful obo for your mains. Compliance course, a first of its kind digital initiative designed to help teachers and school meet these national requirements effectively and meaningfully. So far, over 10,000 plus teachers across Nagaland have registered under the program. 5 more arrests as lower jewel heist broke depends and key details emerged. So it to recently heist gishi. Yeah, though I think it was in Paris, France. It will form a your current affairs, act fake. China welcomes Trump G2 remarks. Kia Zedu says China on Friday reacted favorably to the US President Donald Trump characterization of his summit with President Xi Jinping in South Korea as G2 meeting, saying that the two countries can jointly work for the benefit and that of the world. So idu G2 ko adu kun kan Twitter kuita gishi Donald Trump para US aro China laga. Okay? The Light After the Storm by VP Tono Kutso Solo. So itu tu important ase gitu The Light of After the Storm tu kun pali kishe book tu kulido tayase VP Tono VP Tono Kutso Solo. Sorry for mispronouncing. Benriuli in Kwa host a 52nd Lamsingye Festival in Kohima. Okay, so Lamsingye and Chaka Festival to be very important for exam art and this will be important for your prelims. This will be important for your GS1 and also GS2. To Nagaland portion di pao GST. Alright. Captain N Kengurse Memorial Tournament Headhunter FC. So itu ko di khila jole Indira Gandhi Stadium di khila je. Remember the name. Remember this name. Jeremiah Rodriguez. So once this ICC Women's Cricket World Cup 2025 is over, this name is going to be very important. So ito ICC Women's Cricket World Cup 2025 ko dikhila se this year ko lido India de khila je. Okay. Next, what do you have? Let's discuss a little bit on this Laisamni and Chakakari festival. Because ajikali to like I was mentioning before also, they don't just ask which tribe like ki festival ase. They used to ask significance ki ase, purpose ki ase. Noli to talaga events kan. So I've not mentioned about the events, but let's discuss in brief ito kila festival ase. And then kutumante thake inana. So the Chakakari is in the Liangmai dialect means the blessed festival. Okay, it is a blessed festival. It is a time of the year when all the male folks observe strict abstinence from physical indulgence to sanctify themselves for good fortune in the coming year. The festival commences on the 27th day as the moon of the lunar month called the Changai October. It's the sanctification. So it is a sanctification laze blessed festival. It is for sanctification. So the sanctification ritual will entail men folk consuming food cooked separately by themselves with new fire made in a traditional way and no involvement of women folk in these affairs. So the Chakakari festival do Liangmai gan lase, and then it's a for I think 5 days as niki 5 days only. You please check it out once. And Lamsing Festival is one of the most popular Zileng festivals, which is celebrated with great prompt and gaiety, usually during the last part of October and early part of November. So I think it will a festival 9 days la festival asebare. It is also a festival of rekindling and loving relationship between parents and married daughters, sons families, between families of sisters and brothers, and between the family of married niece and the chosen maternal uncle's family, and competition of games and sports for boys and girls. So अपने exam करने की important हो गई तो games can be की खेले traditional games इतो festival time दे और dance भी की dance perform करी तो festival time दे alright इतो हम भी एक बार साले पिछी पालो next is same thing with this one all the festivals nature laga purpose sabi or like day 1 de ki kore day 2 de ki kore day 3 de ki kore ito bi channel pishi palo la let me check this out once Lamsingni festival. So you please check out if it is for. I'm not very sure with this one. I think it's 6 or 9 days. So एक बार आपने साइड नीचे correct कर लीबी. वो भी वाला power जैसे. Alright. So that will be for that one. And then since this is a important topic for this year, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was also the first Home Minister and also the first Deputy Prime Minister of India. So it will be very important as day. He is recognized as a real unifier of India. That is why he is also called the Iron Man of India. He also requested the people of India to live together by uniting in order to create Shrist Bharat. He is also remembered as the patron saint of Indian civil services. And he integrated farmers' cause in the Kheta Satyagraha, Patoli Satyagraha, 1928. The women of Patoli bestowed the title Sardar on Vallabhbhai Patel after the Patoli Satyagraha. He also participated in the Salt Satyagraha. He was also the president of the INC in the Karachi session. The Karachi session of 1931 was very important because the Indian National Congress, which was called upon to ratify the Kanti-Erwin Pact. Okay. He was also the head of the Advisory Committee on Fundamental Rights. He was also the head of the Committee on Minorities and Tribal and Excluded Areas and also the Provincial Constitution Committee. He was also responsible for the integration of more than 565 princely states into the Union of India. And princely states like Hyderabad, Junagadh, Kashmir, itukandu exam tipishi huti ragede. So tagan kinika hoikina integrate kurise kutu date and year. Date, year, and who was the ruler during the time was the ruler during the time and through which operation or like Kashmir was accession of Kashmir and then annexation of Kashmir happened due to the year sabi or the event sabi. Same thing with Hyderabad was by an operation Polo. So Hyderabad was by an operation Polo. It was in the year I think 1948. So it will be sabi date or year ganso. So koala points concept too, even though I'm not going very much in detail, you please go and study in detail all the topics which I've also been mentioning in this session. So that is very important. So Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel 150th year was it this year birth anniversary. Ito bra this year karne ito Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel contribution to the Indian national movement is going to be very important. Exam is approaching and today is state 1, so I think we're left with hardly 40 days before our exam. So please study hard, please study consistently, and all the very best to all of you. That's all for the day, so see you all tomorrow.